Hello, welcome to Raymond Castile's Basement of Horror. We're not going to look at any toys today. We're going to talk about COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and the changes that are coming to YouTube as of January 1st, 2020. In case you haven't heard, the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, fined Google, which owns YouTube, $170 million in September because YouTube violated COPPA, children's privacy laws. YouTube was tracking the data of child viewers so advertisers could serve them targeted advertising. And this is in violation of Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA. So YouTube got hit by this big fine, and part of the settlement they had with the FTC required Google, owner of YouTube, to require creators, YouTube creators like me, I'm a content creator, to label their content, their videos, as to whether they are aimed at children or not aimed at children. Okay, so far, that sounds reasonable, right? Well, the definition of what is or is not aimed at children is very loose, and I'm using notes here, so I do not apologize for that. It's complicated information, and I don't want to get it right. Because I don't want to misstate anything here. But YouTube, they have detailed information on YouTube if you want to look it up. But it defines content for children as not just directed to children, but also content that is appealing to children. And this can include characters that children find appealing, and it specifies toys and games and other things that are stereotypically, historically considered kid stuff. Now, if a content creator, labels their video as being for children, and they can label their entire channel as being for children, or label their entire channel as being for adults, or they can go on a video per video basis and say this video is for kids, this video is not for kids. If they label the video as being not for kids, as being intended for adults, and the FTC decides no, in fact, this video is intended for children, the FTC has said that it will sue content creators $42,000 per video. So if they find one video on your channel that you have said is for adults, and the FTC says no, it's for kids, they can sue you $42,000. If they find 50 videos on your channel that they decide that you have mislabeled, that they decide these videos are for kids and you said no, they're for adults, well, that's 50 times $42,000. So that's a big deal. And it really is the FTC to worry about. It's not so much YouTube. YouTube is responding to the FTC. FTC fined them, and probably justifiably so. I'm sure YouTube was acting in an irresponsible way and most likely deserved to get fined. And part of what YouTube is doing is part of the settlement. When I say YouTube, Google, YouTube interchangeable, because Google owns YouTube, is part of the settlement with the FTC. But YouTube is requiring content creators to label their channel or their videos for kids or not for kids. And then if YouTube is then using bots to go through the channels and all the videos and see if anyone is mislabeled And if they have mislabeled, YouTube will change. If you said this is for adults and the bot says it's for kids, then it'll get automatically switched to for kids. And there isn't really an appeals process, but you can provide feedback to YouTube, and maybe they would change it. But that's not really what you have to worry about. What you have to worry about is the FTC, because they're the ones that would sue you. So why not just make all your videos labeled for kids? What's the problem with that? That's safe, right? Then you won't get sued. Well, because if you do that, comments will be disabled. No one can comment on your video. And this is supposed to be social media, and that the social part of it is very important. It's important to building a community and building an audience, and really half the reason you put the videos out there is for the community building and the comments. Without the comments, it's kind of a dead zone. And then for people who monetize their videos, I don't monetize my videos. I don't have the following to bother with that. If I had 20,000 followers or something like that, or subscribers, then I'd say, okay, that makes sense. I'll monetize my videos. But when you do that, then you get advertising. I don't want my videos interrupted with advertising unless I'm making money. I mean, if it was going to put thousands of dollars in my pocket, I could use that money. Okay, sure, all right. But with the number of subscribers I have and the number of views most of my videos have, it wouldn't do that. The advertising would still be there interrupting my videos, but the money wouldn't be coming in because there's not enough people looking at them. So there's no reason, no practical reason to do that. If someday I've got tens of thousands of subscribers, then I probably will monetize my videos. There are people who make a living off YouTube. They don't have a job. This is their job. They're YouTubers, and they can make millions of dollars off of YouTube, because they've got hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers. So they can do quite well, or at least they could. I mean, this isn't the only example of how YouTube is kind of changing things. This COPPA is one thing, but many other ways over the last couple of years, they've been demonetizing videos and doing a lot of changes to algorithms, and so it's getting harder and harder for people to make money off YouTube. But people still do. I've never pursued that. I started doing YouTube seriously in 2016 with the synthesizer videos, but I've been on YouTube for at least a decade. I think, it's probably, 2006, 7, 8, something like that, when I first started uploading videos. So I didn't upload a lot of videos, but I started having a YouTube presence about a decade ago, but really started doing it seriously and putting some effort into it in, 2016, like mid-2016. So why am I telling you all this? I knew these changes were coming, and they're scary, because I can't afford $42,000 if one of my videos get flagged, and the rules are so vague. If you have a video about toys, someone in the FTC can look at that and say, well, there's toys in that video. That means it's for kids, but you have it listed as being for adults, so $42,000 fine. I mean, that would absolutely ruin me. Not just one fine for one video would completely, utterly destroy me. I don't know what I would do. I probably can't even say what I would do on camera, but it would be bad. It would be very bad. So that would be the end of Raymond. I cannot withstand a $42,000 fine, let alone if they flagged a bunch of videos. And then if YouTube decided, well, you've got these videos designated as for adults, but we think they're for kids, and they turned off my comments, that hurts my, then it's there's no point in even doing it then, really. That hurts my ability to grow the channel and to build a community. And if I were monetizing, I think I kind of got off track when I started talking about monetizing, but a lot of people, the most important thing for them is that it's going to kill the monetization. If you have a video that's designated for kids, you can no longer collect data on your viewers, so you don't get the targeted advertising, which means most likely people will not advertise on your channel, or it won't be the more lucrative advertising. And I've heard an estimate that it would be a 90% reduction in advertising revenue for those channels. So if you're doing it for the money, you're monetizing your videos, you're either switch your videos to for kids, or someone from above decides that your videos are for kids, it will destroy your ability to make money off YouTube. And that doesn't really affect me because I don't monetize videos, but I respect that it affects a lot of people and that's their livelihood, and that's important to them. And so I'm not going to poo-poo that. That's very important to some people. But I'm more concerned about the choice of either destroying my ability to build a community with my videos through the comments, which are very important, to building a community and building an audience. And also it's less fun for people to come in and look at the video if they can't comment. I mean, there's a lot of drawbacks. It's a big deal. Not being able to comment is a big deal. Also, you can't have end screens, which I don't do a whole lot of, but I started to do it. You can't have notifications, so when a new video comes up, you won't be notified. So there's other things, but getting rid of the comments is the big thing. I don't like that. And of course, the biggest thing is I don't want to get fined $42,000 per video. So that's all bad news. And like I said, if you search around YouTube, you'll see lots of content creators talking about this. And anyone who deals with pop culture or nerd culture, and I would say that's what I do. It's nerd culture or pop culture, toy collecting, mass collecting, monsters, horror, and even the synthesizer stuff is nerd culture, but that's not going to get flagged, I would hope, as being for kids. But it does concern me that Basement of Horror, just because it's about toys, that might be, someone in the FTC might look at that and say, it's about toys. That's for kids. And then I've got my old documentary, In Love with Toys, from 1995. I was looking at my videos today thinking, okay, what's in danger here? A lot. But that's got toys in the title, so that might have a big red flag on it just because it has toys in the title. Even though it's a documentary for adults from 1995. So, people like me who create this kind of content are worried, and there's a lot of discussion on YouTube. You'll see a lot of videos from other people who do toy stuff and nerd culture stuff. And the reason I'm making this video now, a couple of things. One of my favorite YouTubers, I don't want to say his name, but we were talking today online, and he runs a toy channel, and he told me he's going to delete his channel. He's got no choice. He's going to delete his channel in the next few days. And if he'd already done it, I'd go ahead and say who it was, but he hasn't made that announcement yet, so I don't want to make it for him. I don't want to preempt his announcement to his subscribers. And I'm hoping he changes his mind. I'm hoping he doesn't delete the channel. But that really brought it home that this channel I like, and this guy that I've gotten to know, and I think he's becoming a friend. I mean, we haven't met in person, but I really like the guy, and I like his channel, and I hate to see him. He's worked so hard to build that channel. I hate to see him delete it. And that made an impression on me. And obviously I had to think, should I be deleting my channel? I don't want to. And really my instinct is, if you come at me, I'm going to come at you. My instinct is not to back down. I might be this tall and you might be this tall, but I'm just not going to back down. Even if I get crushed, I just can't. It's not in my nature. I can't back down. Many times in my life, it would have been much, much wiser to just lower my head and acquiesce and say, okay, I just can't do that. Even if it meant my destruction, I just can't do that. I cannot back down. Maybe it's a character flaw in me. I don't know. So that was disturbing, that a friend of mine is going to delete his YouTube channel because of this. And I started watching the other, some other toy collector type channels, and they've done videos on this, and they're very worried. And it's very infuriating. Very infuriating. I don't like, YouTube put us all in this situation because they were doing things they should not have been doing, and they got busted. And so then they're overreacting by having a heavy hand on the creators, the content creators. The FTC, which is a bunch of politicians, so I don't have any confidence in politicians. They don't know what they're doing, and they're using a sledgehammer approach. And what it all boils down to is trust. I don't trust the FTC to use wisdom or common sense. I don't trust that they have the intelligence or the good faith or the wisdom to make good decisions. I don't trust them. I don't trust YouTube, the people who run YouTube, or Google. Just as corporations, I think they've proven themselves. They've obviously proven themselves to be untrustworthy, not by this, but by many things they've done. So you can't trust them to make good decisions and use good faith and common sense. So we're at the mercy of people who, in my opinion, cannot be trusted, are not acting in good faith, do not have common sense, do not have intelligence. You can't just assume, it's going to be okay, they're going to make good decisions, they're going to treat us fairly. You can't assume that. You can't assume that they're not going to be complete idiots and bungle this whole thing, and that good, innocent people who are not doing anything wrong are going to get fined up the wazoo. That could happen. Now, I understand they're really going after these big channels with thousands, if not millions, of subscribers that are kids, and they're like networks, like TV networks. They're making TV shows for YouTube, and they're kids channels making kids programming, but they're not following the rules you're supposed to follow when you're doing children's programming. I get that. So there needs to be something. It can't be a free-for-all. There needs to be something. But this feels like a sledgehammer approach when what they really need are tweezers, which is the way government works, and the way bureaucracy works, and the way big corporations work. So that's not surprising. So what are we going to do? What am I going to do with my channel? What are other content creators going to do? We can wait and see that all this goes, if I didn't say it before, it all goes into effect January 1st, 2020. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if January 2nd I'm going to get hit with a $42,000 fine. I don't know if it's all just kind of going to blow over. Nothing's going to come of it. It's my understanding one of the channels that's been really good about covering this has been Retro Blasting. I haven't seen a lot of his videos. It's a toy collecting channel. I haven't seen a whole lot of his videos, but I started watching some of his stuff recently, and I think one of the things that caught my attention was this topic, because he's done a few videos on this, and it's been one of the better, some of the better coverage I've seen of this topic. And he's got kind of a plan of action. He's got links to a feedback form that you can send to the FTC. You copy and paste it and give your feedback to the FTC. I did it. I copied and pasted it. I don't know if that is really going to help. They do have a public comment period that runs, I think, through the end of the calendar year. So I'll probably take those links that retroblasting has and post them in the description beneath this video. I mean, why not? It can't hurt. I'm a little skeptical that really is going to help a lot, but it can't hurt. So that's you can either use his comments, or that apparently he had help with from a lawyer drafting this, or you can use your own comments. But it wouldn't hurt to post a comment during this public comment period for these new rules. Post a comment on the FTC website and let them know what you think. Beyond that, I don't know what else we can do. I don't feel like deleting our channels is the answer. I mean, common sense would tell you that you would look at a channel like this and see that this is for adult collectors. This is not for children. This is obviously not aimed at children. I can't assume that the people at the FTC would have the intelligence or wisdom or cultural understanding to know the difference between what we're doing here and an obvious kids channel that's making kids programming. And I know that's, as I said a minute ago, that's who they're targeting really, are those big kids channels that are operating without following any rules, and they're making basically kids TV shows without following the rules for data collection that COPPA instituted, and they should be following those rules. But I don't trust that they're just going to go after them. I don't trust that they're not going to have a shotgun approach and go after the little guys who are not making videos for kids, but are making videos about kid-friendly topics like toys, like video games, like comic books, because the rules say it could be anything that appeals to kids, or any characters that appeals to kids. Could be Star Wars. If you review Star Wars movies or talk about Star Wars or gossip about Star Wars, it could be superheroes like the MCU or anything. What if you do a informational video about Fred Rogers? I mean, he's big in the media lately. We got this Tom Hanks movie coming out, and you do a video about what Fred Rogers meant to you growing up, or like a documentary kind of a thing exploring his impact or something. Is that for kids? I mean, it's Mr. Rogers. Does that mean it's for kids? There's a difference between something that is appropriate for all ages versus something that's aimed at kids. So for the record, my channel is aimed at adults. Doesn't mean there's pornography on it. It doesn't mean kids can't watch it, but it is not aimed at children. I don't make videos with the idea in mind that this video is for kids. I hope kids watch this video because this is for kids. I don't do that. I'm aiming this series, Basement of Horror, and really everything on my channel, at a general audience skewed to adults. But there's nothing that a kid couldn't watch. Well, there's a couple horror short films. There's a couple things that little kids shouldn't watch that are maybe PG or PG-13. But aside from that, certainly Basement of Horror or synthesizer videos or Top Stone videos and most of the other stuff, that's all stuff that is aimed at an adult audience, but it doesn't contain anything objectionable that a kid could not see. So that seems like a very clear common sense distinction, that it is not aimed at kids, but it's not inappropriate for kids. There's no F-bombs, there's no nudity, There's no cursing or sexual innuendo or extreme gore or anything like that. So, there's nothing that a kid couldn't be exposed to, but the intended audience is adults. Because the subject matter, this kind of collecting would probably bore most kids. And I'm really aiming it at adults in their 30s, 40s, 50s. That's the demographic who grew up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and are interested in these kinds of toys that were made in those decades when they grew up. It's like a nostalgia thing. So it's really aimed at that, like 30-something through middle-aged adults. That's my demographic. Even the synthesizer stuff skews towards that demographic, because if you want to be sexy, you don't play a synthesizer. You play a guitar or whatever. Synthesizers are a nerd instrument for nerds, and it's just the way it is. And it's more of an older demographic these days that really likes synth music. That's just the sad fact. So even the music stuff is aimed at an older demographic. Everything I do is in that 30-something, 40-something, 50-something age group. Does that mean a kid could not watch it? No. Does that mean a kid wouldn't enjoy some of this? No. But it's not aimed at kids. That's not the intended audience. So I see that seems to make perfect sense to me, but I can't assume that someone with the FTC is going to agree. I don't know how they think. They're outlining the rules, and YouTube has also outlined their rules so vaguely that it seems like it could just include anything. If you do toy reviews of any kind, whatever kind of toy, it doesn't matter. It's just that it's a toy, then that could be considered content for kids. If you talk about Star Wars or superheroes or even monsters, anything that, kids are interested in those things, so that could be considered content for kids. And that, I think, is why content creators have a lot of anxiety right now, because the rules are so vague. They don't make common sense. I don't feel that the people behind this are acting in good faith. I do not give them the benefit of the doubt. I do not feel that they're acting with good faith and common sense. I can't assume that. And that's where the anxiety comes from. If I knew that I were dealing with people with intelligence and savvy and acting in good faith with common sense, I would feel a lot better. But I do not believe that is the case. So I'm not really giving you a call to action. I will post those links that are from Retroblasting. I don't know if he minds, and I don't care. He can sue me if he wants. I don't care. He shouldn't mind if his mission is to try to fight this. But I'll post those links. I don't suppose it hurts. I don't know if it helps. I don't know. Couldn't hurt. Other than that, I don't know what else we can do except wait and see. And I just hate to see people deleting their channels, but I can't blame them, because this individual I'm thinking of, I know he's a family man. He's got a wife and kids. He can't risk a $42,000 fine. Not that anybody can, but he certainly can't. I understand why, being a family man, he has a responsibility that would require him to really err on the side of not wanting to take any chances. But it's sad to see the government and corporations bullying people around, which is what's going on. People are being bullied. And especially when they're part of nerd culture, we all grew up being bullied. We were all nerds as teenagers, so we're extra sensitive to that. I'll probably start putting, not probably, I will, I'll put a disclaimer in front of my videos, just saying, almost like a Surgeon General's kind of message, this video is not intended for children, or something to that effect. This video is made for an adult audience, or something like that. It'll make it seem like there's pornography, but obviously there is not anything like that. But I'm sure there are people coming to my channel for the first time would see that and say, what the heck is this? I mean, this isn't what I want. I don't know what else I can do, but I feel like I do need to put a disclaimer before, like Basement of Horror, before that title comes up. I think I will put a disclaimer, just flash it on the screen. This video is intended for an adult audience, and hopefully that won't scare people away thinking they're going to see something sexual or whatever. Hopefully the people who would come to my channel would have common sense and would know what that means and not be scared away. So I'll do that. I'm not going to go back to all my other videos and put that on there. Or maybe I would do that perhaps in the description. Obviously I can't alter the videos. They're up. I'm not going to delete any videos. So it's a kind of a scary time for people who are doing this, and I don't know why some content creators are being silent. I mean, I was silent really until this person I know said he was going to delete his channel, and that really made me feel like I gotta say something. But I would encourage all content creators who deal with toys or pop culture or nerd culture to say something about this. And if you're not worried, well, good luck to you. So I just want to let you guys know what's going on, and if you feel inclined to take some kind of action, if you got some ideas, let me know. If you got any ideas you think everyone else hasn't already thought of, let me know. If you are perhaps a lawmaker of some kind, and you're in a position to maybe get in someone's face and talk about this with the FTC, well, that'd be good. Let me know that. Or maybe you're a lobbyist or something. Apparently there is at least one lobbyist who is actually, I saw a video with an actual lobbyist who is actually talking to FTC commissioners and actually had a meeting with them to talk to them about this. So there's people out there trying to do something, but every little voice helps. So I'm just putting my voice out there, and hopefully this won't be the end of this kind of programming on YouTube. Because believe me, if anyone doing this kind of video gets smacked with a fine, I think everyone else doing that is going to shut down, because they have to. And if that happens, I would be very interested if anyone is putting together something like a class action suit against the FTC or against YouTube, or both. Have to be both, probably. I'd be interested in being involved with that for sure. If someone's a legit attorney in a position to do something like that, I imagine something like that's probably already in a planning stage. I'd, count me in. I'd be all in on something like that. Well, that's it. I don't know if I'll have a video up this Saturday or not. I actually taped a video about MC Universal Monster Toys, the MC Diamond Select. and it was supposed to go up instead of that Gaslich Dracula, but I had a problem with, I had 3 cameras and one of them just, the footage was unusable. I have to reshoot that. I haven't done that yet. I don't know if that's going to happen between now and Saturday. So there may not be a video this Saturday. I don't know. If there isn't, it's not because of this, most likely. It's because of having to reshoot part of that video. Or I might do something real short, like a little mini episode. I don't know. Don't know. I'm taping this on Sunday, and that's next Saturday. Just letting you know. If you don't see a video from me next Saturday, don't panic. The FTC didn't get me. It's not because of that, or it didn't. It's just having some technical difficulties with the last video I shot. All right, I guess that's it. So, spread the word. This is a problem. This is something to be concerned about. And hopefully, with more people being aware of it, together, we can figure out some way of dealing with it. I know I can't as an individual. Not much I can do. But hopefully we can, together, figure out something. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next time.